Welcome one, welcome all to DeFi Crypto and Airdrops. I am Mike, aka Veteran Crypto, and with me, as always, on Saturdays and Mondays is Jeff, aka the Blockchain Report. How's it going, brother?
So, well, it's been quite an eventful week, just trying to decompress as much as possible, but I'm grateful for my health, my life, and the people around me. So I appreciate all of you out there tuning in, and I appreciate you, Mike. But how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm on the road. I'm in town helping my lady out. So yeah, it's I got the library behind me that so
He's the smart.
yes, SMRT. I've read all these books, by the way,
Oh,
every single one of them. So just want to thank everybody that shows up, every time in the chat, for the lives, and definitely, if you could, please like and share the stream. It definitely helps us to grow the channel. As always, I always say it. We do this. It's actually costs us money to do. We don't monetize. So anything that you can do to help, spread the word, spread the good word, we appreciate it. But let's go and
hmm.
jump on into it. You want to share out the socials, and then we'll jump into this cool
Yeah,
new project?
yeah. I do want to take with 9/11 and the event that happened the day before. I do want to take a moment of silence to remember Charlie Kirk and also Captain Jason M. Dahl, who was the captain of Flight 93, and it's my mom's cousin, actually. So I just want to take a moment of silence to remember them and the victims of 9/11. And yeah, all right, let's jump into it. Let's get
Sounds good.
some good news going on. So we appreciate all of you joining us here at DeFi Crypto and Airdrops, where me and Mike go live every Monday and Saturday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. On YouTube, you can catch us at DeFi Crypto and Airdrop. Catch our brother channels, Discover Crypto, Blockchain Basement. They go over the news, DGen stuff, and me at the Blockchain Report, where I cover a lot of airdrops and the latest projects happening in the crypto space. And also, Mike goes live on Wednesday and Friday with the DeFi Masterclass at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and on Thursdays for Money Talks at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time with a whole host of people from DeFi experts to traditional finance to law. We're bringing you all the alpha, the airdrops. I mean, we're trying to
Absolutely.
cover everything and looking for a technical analyst as well. So if you know of any good up and coming guys, send them our way. We love to have them and learn all together.
It,
And
we like people with integrity and that have good knowledge to share. But
yes, yes.
also, my the gentlemen that are with me on Wednesdays and Fridays, Jake and David. There's
Hmm.
also links in the description for the DeFi University with David,
Yep.
and also for Metrics Finance, which is an awesome tool for DeFi for tracking your portfolio, understanding if you're being profitable or not. If you're interested, I actually did a tutorial with Jake where he walked us through all the functionality that is one of the episodes down below. So if you're interested, check
Hmm.
that out. So without further
Powerful
ado,
stuff. The
let's
Discord
go ahead.
as well.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, the free Discord.
We got a free Discord. Uh, we got some DGen stuff that happens on in here, and a nice, delicious meal that I like to share every once in a while. And also, Vet's got some incredible, powerful tracking sheets for your DeFi liquidity pools and ladder out strategy that he's graciously shared with all of us. And it's all free. Jump in here. And there's a Discover Investments Group Discord that is free as well. And they also have a paid section where you can get in trading chats, portfolio updates from everyone in the Discover Investments Group team. So a lot of alpha that you can get on top of the DeFi stuff. I mean, this is just a powerhouse of people and information that it's hard to find anywhere else. So get in here, get on it, and yeah, get your financial future in your own hands.
Sack Nasty says those aren't books behind me; those are boxes of crayons. Because He's taking a stab at me because I was in the Marines. So
I like to draw.
just so you know, the red ones are my favorite.
How do they taste? Like red?
They taste like red.
They taste like red. Oh yeah, and our Twitters as well. The_only_DCA, vet at veteran4crypto, and me at the BCR142. And all the links are down in the description, so you don't have to go searching for it and end up following a scammer. So fuck the scammers.
Don't do it. In the
Don't
face.
Right in the face.
Yeah, fuck him in the face.
Face.
All right, so NOYA. What do we got going on with NOYA?
So NOYA AI enables AI agents to direct Omnichain liquidity trustlessly using ZK ML. And this is basically a bunch of DeFi liquidity pools that they have to offer. Oh, whoops. I think my YouTube just my YouTube started playing. It was like, what is that sound? So I actually need to connect my wallet on the NOYA app. So let me just go to the homepage real quick. And this is not on crypto rank. So they don't have a lot of information on there, but I did save their documentation, which is.
So Ricky's asking what exchange is it on? I don't think that it's launched yet. I think this is an early project.
No, the token hasn't launched, but they have these OmniVaults where they use Aave and Morpho right now on 8 different networks at the moment. You have Arbitrum, Avalanche, Polygon, Scroll, Optimism, Linea, ZK Sync, Gnosis, Base, Ethereum, and Binance Smart Chain. And you can see.
So to answer your question, Ricky, they haven't launched a token yet. So as usual, we're super early on this project. It's we're in the early stages. That's the way we like it.
There were some surprises that I found out in their documentation while searching this.
Yes, I did
or
too.
doing some research on this.
But go ahead.
So first, they have all kinds of stuff. Intro, NOYA's infrastructure, NOYA protocol, and a breakdown of everything. And they have audits, bug bounties, risk and monitoring. So they have all kinds of stuff, but I think it was resources in here. So 2 years ago, I believe, they participated in, I want to say, a hackathon. It gives us time to load. But it was, I'll let it load, but I'll kind of go through this more. So they have the protocols, assets that you can deposit in the pools, the risk, and the APY. And the other day, this APY was up to 8.5%. So it kind of fluctuates depending on the assets and the strategy. As you can see, they have looping strategies as well. And it kind of auto compounds stuff for you.
Those of you that are new, looping is powerful. I've done a couple of videos with David on it. Long story short, because I don't want to get on a rabbit trail like I usually do, but looping is basically where you lend out assets, you borrow against that lend, so you're earning yield on that. You borrow against it, but what it costs you to borrow is less than what you're earning. You take what you borrowed, lend it back out, and just keep doing that. But each time you do it, it increases risk. But I don't want to get into the details, but just want everyone to understand what looping is.
Yeah, did you go into that with David yesterday or on Wednesday?
No. We actually did a full episode on it. So if you look on the DeFi channel on on our main channel, then you'll see there's one of them. I think it's like 2 or 3 episodes ago. It was just me and David, and we talked about looping.
Okay.
And also, me and David built a looping calculator, so you can actually type in, like how much you have to lend out of what asset, and it will basically calculate your risk and everything. So he actually offers that on his website that he just launched, and I also going to be posting it in our Discord. So,
Oh shit, powerful. See,
but
you
it's
guys are crushing
DeFi.
it.
Yeah, DeFiUniversity.xyz is his website.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, appreciate all that info and stuff, man. These tools are powerful. But this
They
was
are.
from 2023, so NOYA Network was involved in some ZK Day Paris event and some competition where they won. And so they've been building for a little while. So it's not it's brand new as far as they launched a few months ago, or yeah, I think back in June is when they launched this space race. And here you can kind of see they have their resources, but you can go into the introduction and they show kind of their sequencers and steps involved. And yeah,
Basically, the workflows.
yeah, this is way top level for even me.
Oh
Like
yeah,
the
yeah.
cards, yeah. So I'm not gonna try and explain any of that. But yeah, really just using AI to manage these pools and find you the best returns. I mean, sort of like a Mamo, you know? And right now they have this space race that's going on where you can sign up and earn points by depositing into vaults, bonding your deposit, connecting your socials and stuff. And if you haven't seen my Twitter, the little profile pic, that's one of the NFTs that they have, and you get like a 5 or 10% bonus depending on the rank of your NFT. And I think right now you can get them for like $30 if you want to participate. Daily check-ins, which I haven't done, or I did, yeah, almost a day ago. And they have different levels that you can achieve, and these will contribute towards the airdrop. So I did want to say this as far as the token goes. They don't have any information on funding because NOYA is a fair launch project. They took no direct investments from angels, KOLs, or VC funds, which I didn't know until just when I sent that to you.
Yeah.
Yesterday? I was like, oh shit, that's okay. So
No,
NOYA
no,
is
you said it earlier
a,
today. So yeah,
was that
no, that
earlier
was
today?
yeah, that was great. That because it's I'm starting to see it more and more that these fair launches. I think that the I don't want to say the days of these sketchy launches where the team and VCs and stuff like that get the market share of the tokens and then basically dump on everybody as soon as it launches. Because I'm starting to see a lot of these projects that we're covering. They're starting to have unlocks. Like 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes even 4 years out. So I think that they're starting to understand to be considered. The market is maturing. The ecosystem is maturing, and I think that they realize to be considered a legitimate project that they can't just launch and dump like they used to.
No, no, and that's important, man. It's good to see, and yeah, some of like Hyperliquid, the hype token went fucking. I mean, it's still going crazy, and that had
Yeah,
no VCs, no angel investors and stuff. It was fair launch, and I
hmm
mean, it's been booming, man, booming. So very important to
it's one
see
of the
the.
few projects that I'm kind of pissed off that I didn't get exposure to.
Yeah, I tried to participate in the pre-launch airdrop stuff, but they had such a tight hold on um, the claiming process. When you tried to claim or check your allocations, they like geo blocked people from using VPNs, and I
Oh,
tried to find all kinds of workarounds, and even people uh, who were trading on the platform, if
hmm
you accidentally didn't have your VPN connected and they flagged you as being in a restricted area, your account
yeah.
was locked immediately, which is kind of
Oh,
fucked
damn.
up, man. Yeah, so
Yeah, it
people
is.
have their funds locked, and it's like, what are we doing, man? What are we
Yeah.
doing? But hopefully progress, man. Oh, the same with my Aether tokens that I have a node for.
Oh yeah,
Those
yeah.
I have to KYC to get those. I have like 20,000 Aether tokens locked up,
Oh
and
no.
you have to provide like a statement showing your residence.
Well,
And
it's a good thing you have that Palau ID.
no, so you have to do ID and proof of residence using like a utility bill.
Oh
So I'm
shit.
fucked right now. And I've been on their Twitter and Discord like,
Well,
"Hey, what's up with
dude,
the
get
US citizens?
online,
Like
find somebody in Palau, like
my
rent a room
my
from them or something
Nigerian
like
friend,
that.
my
Yeah,
Nigerian
yeah.
friend, please come help me."
If you just we'll just start, because if you rent for like a month or something like that, then
Oh
you can get a
shit. Yeah.
utility bill. You know what I mean?
Fuck, that's a good idea. Okay. Yeah. Oh, they do offer
Hey, this
for
is
a
not
higher
financial
fee.
advice or legal advice. I'm not a financial or legal advisor. This is for
Facts.
informational purposes only or educational purposes only.
And they do offer a digital address too, or a mailing service, but you have to
Mm.
have a utility bill and shit for them. So, yeah, no, that would be a good idea. Yeah, thanks for that.
Hey, no problem, no problem. That's why I'm here.
Yeah. So they got all kinds of stuff, bridges, interoperability, composability, fixing AI models on chain using this fancy ZK-ML or zero knowledge, succinct non-interactive argument of knowledge, also known as zero knowledge machine learning. All kinds of fancy stuff
Yeah.
that I know a little bit about, but not super, not like Vitalik.
There's very few people that fully understand a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, it's as long as it's safe and secure, which is why I was in the NOYA Discord and I was asking about the team because there wasn't much information.
Oh
And
no, not the Discord. Oh no.
well, and somebody actually, it was like last week, I think. So I don't know if I can find it right now, but they tagged two of the founders. Um, and I'll have to share it in the description, but there wasn't a whole lot of information on them. And I think that might be them in the resources page that I showed
Hmm.
in the first slide. So they are doxed in some way. I just am having a hard time finding that information. Um, and they have their roadmap right
Damn it.
here. So three protocols ready to be deployed. Their
Damn
NOLA
raffle
lending
tickets.
aggregation. Their damn what?
Damn raffle tickets. I
Oh
did
man,
my plume. I did my plume spin.
I was so close to getting the diamond twice. I'm like, fuck. Oh, I
Dude,
was sad.
I know it's so degrading.
It's like playing the slot machine casino stuff, man. The digital, it's like
Oh
you're never
yeah,
gonna win.
I know that it doesn't matter at all. I'm kind of old fashioned. I don't like the digital ones. I like the ones that actually have the wheels.
The
I know
mechanical.
I know it doesn't matter, but for some reason, to me, it just feels more legit.
Mm-hmm. And they have their LP optimization and LYFA, their collateral and leverage automated management. So AI Intense, AI Agent Marketplace. Um, and let's see what else. They got their building blocks, the Omni Vaults, Omni Strategies, their bonding, which allows users to lock tokens for a fixed period in exchange for enhanced participation in the protocol's rewards. Um, Bonding is optional, but provides clear advantages to users seeking to maximize their rewards. And with the bonding, you get more points for completing that tasks or the task. So if you want to deposit in any of these vaults, go, oh, their agent right here. And then their borrowing optimizer. We'll check these out as well.
I really like that it's Omnichain. That they're making it to
Mm-hmm.
where it will actually include bridging. So it's not like it's just operating on ETH mainnet. It's actually looking at multiple chains and finding the best yields because like Mamo is great. I use it, but
Mhm.
it's only for base. It's having something that, because I mean that's a lot of the heavy lifting when it comes to DeFi is finding the best protocols, understanding which protocols, and by protocol I mean a DEX, looking at each of them, and and they're constantly changing. The APYs are changing, all that stuff. It's just it's like trying to hit moving targets all the time. So having an AI that you can just deposit your liquidity, and you give it the parameters of hey, I like these assets. This is my financial goals. I'm trying to build stack tokens, or I'm just trying to earn a yield that I can live off of, or whatever. Then it will actually go out there and do it for you. So that to me, that's
Mhm.
obviously being a DeFi, that's very exciting to me because I don't want to have to sit behind the computer and constantly be looking for the best yields. And if the yields change while I'm sleeping, or doing working around the property or doing whatever, I want it to lift and shift that liquidity. If I'm in some sort of looping strategy where I'm lending out and I'm borrowing, and and then using that to lend out to borrow against, and that sort of thing. If it gets to where it's not profitable because the lend becomes less than the borrow, I don't want it to wait until I'm losing money until it unwinds that, and gets me out of that
Mhm.
position. If it starts to get to a certain threshold, I want it to just go ahead and unwind that and reallocate that liquidity somewhere else to keep earning. So, if I, for whatever reason, I'm not able to log on for a day or two, I don't want to be losing money, which can happen, even in borrowing and lending strategies. So, anyway, I just kind of wanted to throw that out there, and why I'm actually pretty excited about this project, and it's one that since you brought it up, for the show today, I'm actually going to put it on my watch list.
Nice. Yeah, and the fees, that you would accrue jumping in and out of pools and trying to shift stuff around. And I asked you about this a while back, trying to find the best APYs and jumping between pools and stuff like this is perfect because it just does it for you in an efficient way to where you're just more hands off, and manage it every couple days. And yeah, just these tools that are being built out. And like you said, that we're moving from more speculative to a utility market, and AI is going to be a big driving force with that.
Well, anything that removes barriers to entry and that's why I'm so bullish on Base is because of what Coinbase is doing with their platform, offering DeFi natively on the Coinbase website. It's people aren't going to have they're not going to have to know how to use wallets and connect it to dexes and protocols, things like that. They're not going to have to do a lot of the stuff that we're currently having to do. This is along those same lines. Anything that makes it easier for the normal people out there that don't know about crypto, that don't know about hot and cold wallets, that don't know about how to navigate these complex protocols. Some of them are even over my head. Not that I'm a subject matter expert, but like Pendle. Pendle, a great
Oh yeah.
platform, but it is very unique. They have PT and YT, which is like the yield bearing asset, and the principal asset is the PT, and basically they separated those out in a very creative way to where you can earn on them separately. Almost nobody else does that. So there's all these, and it's such a powerful tool. So it's really, really important to be able to be knowledgeable enough about this technology to understand when projects like this come along. Because if you can zero in on these projects, early, like this one, they haven't even launched a token, then
Hmm.
you can get in, and it's not a for sure thing. Mammo right now, it's very much down since I started investing in it. I'm probably about 50% down on my investment, even with my earning, but it doesn't mean I'm getting out of it. because they still haven't launched, fully launched that base app. There's still a lot that can be going on, and it's such a small market cap. I see
Mhm.
nothing but upside personally, but anything can happen. So do your own research. It's for me. I'm just stacking manually. I'm stacking all the projects that fundamentally, if nothing has changed, I'm not getting out of the projects that I'm in, especially not with what the markets are doing right now. Plume. Plume is, since we started investing in it, I think when I started investing in it, it was like 2.5 cents. And it went down to below a cent, for a while. And now it's back up to about, it's back up to 13 cents. It went below 10 cents. Sorry.
Yeah,
Um,
seven
yeah, it
cents
went down
for.
to 7 cents, but it's back up to 13. And honestly, I think Plume is going to melt faces. Once the traction hits with everything that they're building in the RWA sector and DeFi. Sorry, got on a rabbit trail. Let's get back to NOYA.
Oh man, no.
I,
And
I,
while you
I,
were talking about, no, you're good, vet. Um, so I did find that post right here in their Discord, and I just said, hey, everyone, do you know where I can find the information about the team building? So this Mace at NOYA is one of the mods, and this optimistically on chain is one guy, and Hadi Esna is the other. I sent this guy a follow on Twitter because he's got private Twitter, so hopefully we can find out more information. But they have their faces out there, so that at least should give you a little bit more warm and fuzzies. Because yeah, if you
so,
don't have a docs team, it's a problem. It's a problem.
this right here, I mean, this isn't like mind blowing alpha, but it gives you an idea of what it is, what their intent is. And I found this under, what did I find it under?
Yeah, I'll pull it up. Let me
So
know.
Oh no! So it says in a rapidly evolving DeFi landscape, and that's what I initially was talking about. Just how quickly, how different all these different protocols are, and how the yields change all the time. Staying ahead
Hmm.
of the curve has never been more critical. Noya's advanced AI technology intelligently predicts and capitalizes on high yield opportunities across multiple chains, protocols, and assets. Your assets will be managed with unprecedented precision and efficiency, maximizing your returns like never before. So again, I'm all for something that is awake 24/7, 365, managing my liquidity, because as long as I can fine tune like my financial goals and things like that, what it is that I'm trying to accomplish, then it's going to do a better job than I'm going to do.
Yeah, 100%.
And,
Now,
right off the bat, am I going to give it all my liquidity? Absolutely not. But you know what? Probably what I'll do is I'll probably drop like a couple of grand in there, see what it can do, and just as I build confidence in it, I'll add money and see kind of like I do with like I did with Black Hole, like I did with KTA, a lot of these other projects. I seeded those with $800, and then grew them to some of them 5, 6, 7, $8,000.
hmm
Maybe I'll do the same thing with this, to where I'll seed it with a couple of $1,000s and make it grow itself. I won't put any more money in. I'll just make it grow like a separate portfolio from the one that I manage myself. So I don't know. We'll see.
yeah, and you can do it with stables. You don't even have to put ETH or Bitcoin if you
Exactly.
want. Oh, yeah. So, not as much risk. I just put 15 bucks in to test it out and see, and I did the bonding too. So I locked my tokens up for a year. You can do 3 months, 6 months, or a year. And depending on that, for the space race, you kind of get more points. And they update every Monday. So every Monday, the points update and you get these stars. and your level right here will depend on, I guess your airdrop allocation will depend on what level you are and stuff. But they do have this AI feature. Now this one you can find up here on protocols under agent, and then that'll take you here, and you sign in with your email address or your social. So you don't log in with your wallet, because it'll give you like what they call an account abstraction wallet. And it's a wallet that you use a social login for. So you do have to deposit funds to this wallet, since it's not your regular, MetaMask, Rabby wallet. And by how to do so, you deposit funds, you can pay with card, transfer from exchange, transfer from wallet, and that's where you can connect your wallet, or receive funds, and then this is your kind of wallet address right here. So if you want to copy that, you send it, and this is on Base. So right here, it will say, scan this to receive funds on Base, and then just send a couple dollars here, and you can chat with this agent. You can do voice chat, and they have different strategies that will be coming soon. And our favorite DCA. They have our DCA strategies, which isn't ready yet, but it's coming. So they must know. They must know. And this native Omnichain borrowing optimizer. I haven't really tested this out yet. So you can deposit, let's see, USDC and borrow wrapped ETH. And this is coming soon. So pretty cool little feature. Constantly analyzing borrowing rates, using smart liquidation guards, which is important because liquidations you don't want at all, and minimize borrowing costs. So Nobo optimizes for current borrowing rates. You can borrow against these tokens, and it finds the lowest rate. So there's 3% on Optimism, but 1% on Arbitrum. It'll hit that. And then once the borrowing rate changes, NOYA will teleport it with the same or different chain. So that's powerful. If the borrowing rate changes, it will swap for you by taking an uncollateralized loan from NOYA on one chain and paying it back on another. How about that? So the Omnichain, man.
No, like I said, that's really what's standing out to me, is that it's Omnichain.
Mm-hmm. And it prevents the fragmented liquidity too, and so just really awesome tools. Let's see more.
Well, that's a big issue, especially in DeFi. Just the way that the liquidity moves around. 1 second, Avalanche might be the hot chain. When Black Hole launched, for a minute it was Sonic. Base is pretty consistent. ETH, is always good. But liquidity moves around. People in DeFi, they're a lot of them are degens. They're going to go after, whatever it is, wherever it is, they're going to get the best yield.
Yeah, exactly. And if you don't have to be at your screen, because it's for those of you who do day trade or swing trade, it can be kind of daunting to be looking at the charts all the time and moving positions around, and something like DeFi, like these tools would be fantastic to where you're just more hands off. I know they have trading bots and stuff that can kind of help alleviate that for day trading, but there's just something about the bots that I don't fully trust yet.
Yeah, I don't know enough about them, in the technology and how they work to understand if they're legit or not.
Mm-hmm. And one thing that I know is important to us is the audits. So they have these security audits that they post right here, code for RENA, Custodia, continuous monitoring. So you can get a host of information. And this is so important. I mean, you can go into that if you want, but the information's there. And even though the team isn't like, their information isn't fully out there, it's kind of hard to find, but the audits really are important because that what they're building is secure. And plus, doing a hackathon and competitions like that a couple years ago that they won, I mean, that's the stuff you want to see. You want to see these teams out there showing their work and proving that it's safe and what they're building is what it is they say that they're building. Because some of these projects, man, and their rug pulls are fucking wild. And like I shared
Yes, they
last week,
are.
the Quinto project that, I mean, went up to $15 or so, or yeah, people had their tokens locked up for over a year, and now it's done, toast.
It's
People had
gone.
thousands and thousands is gone. So yeah, risks monitoring. So they have all this stuff. Bug bounties are really important because they'll pay software developers to find issues with their code. Say, hey, come attack us, come find our vulnerabilities, and we'll pay you. So it actually saves a lot, because if somebody hacks you for millions, you're kind of fucked. But if you can pay somebody 100,000 to find a vulnerability, it would save you in the long run. So uh, definitely good to see. And there's risks and warnings, market risk, regulatory risk, security risk, clarity of information, legal advice or adherences. And let me see what else. Oh, DeFi module is currently in development, which is up here. And yeah, so the space race, you can join, deposit in the vaults, and bond tokens. So once you actually deposit, let me click on this Morpho USD that I'm in and show you guys. So you can deposit here, vault status, how much total value locked is in there, deposit cap, 1 million USDC, and APY. You see it was up here for the last day. You can change week and month. So it was up to 9% at one point. Oh shit, at the beginning, 24%. And as more people come in, usually APY drops a little bit, but Vault TVL over time. So they have all the good metrics, Vault movements. What else?
Well,
Vault creator, idea
a
strategies.
lot of the way that a lot of the APIs or APYs work is basically how much is being lent out and how much is being borrowed. So it's all about demand. If they're really low on funds because a lot of people are borrowing, APYs are going to go up to incentivize people to lend. So that's kind of how it works in a nutshell.
Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, so when you deposit, you can see it goes from base, Morpho, and your assets, rewards APY, the chain that you're on, the asset, how much you want to deposit, and a little disclaimer down here. And then your bonding, which you will receive daily points with a multiplier if you bond your deposit amount for any time duration. The longer the period, the higher the points and the multiplier. So you have 3 months, 6 months, or a year. And yeah, that's really about it for how to get in it and how to participate. And you can see the leaderboard. They do have a Kaito campaign going on, but you have to make so many posts a day about this stuff that I don't really do the Kaito thing, just because
I
it's
don't
just so
either.
competitive. And it
I,
feels spammy because
Yeah, I just that's the thing for me. Whenever they want you to, basically when they're incentivizing you to shill, and I don't, anybody that wants to do it, that's fine, but I just, to me, it feels weird, and it's like, okay, you're gonna pay me to, it's almost like you're a prostitute. It's like we're gonna pay you to go out there and hoe, it's like get out there,
yeah.
hoe for us.
Yeah, and even if you use it, how much can you really talk about it each day? Like, oh, I made my daily check-in, I deposited today, and it's like, okay, I get it. I
If
get it.
I honestly, I mean, if it's a good project and they have good good things going on, I'm gonna post about it. It's like whenever something
Yeah.
good happens with Plume or any project that I'm following, then I always share it, because I mean that's kind of why me and you are here is we're trying to like find good information and share it with people, but it's
Mm-hmm.
well, I mean it's kind of like why the channel isn't monetized. We just I don't want to pull that trigger until we get the channel to a point to where it makes it worthwhile. But two, it's just kind of it feels good to be able to to come on the show and just know that everything we talk about is and our opinion on it is purely based on how we actually feel about it. It's not
Mm-hmm.
because we're incentivized in any way. So to me, I really enjoy that. Not to say that we're
And
not ever going to monetize, but
yeah, well, and doing it with integrity and
exactly, exactly.
good intentions, because like I put my money where my mouth is. Most of these projects, I like deposit into these vaults and participate in, and so it's not like I'm just, oh yeah, look at this project. I'm not participating in it at all. It's like, no, I'm in it, and I'm just sharing this information that I've found and might be helpful to you. If not, you take it or leave it. But it can be beneficial, and it's cool to really learn about stuff in this space, because there's things that I learned that even though I do research on a lot of these stuff, I find a lot more when I do these shows with you, and especially interacting with the chat and the people in our community and Discord, because people will share
I
stuff with us and it's like, oh shit,
do.
I didn't know
I'm actually very surprised that. Well, I shouldn't say that. It's not something I really thought about when we started the Discord. That it was going to be a place where I actually learned stuff, which is I know that sounds terrible, but um, it just didn't cross my mind. I started it because I was just like, hey, we need to start a community where people can come and we can all learn from each other and stuff. But it didn't cross my mind that we would end up with people that are so knowledgeable, are getting so knowledgeable, and it's almost like having an army of people that are out there and they're finding new protocols, and they're always reporting back and saying hey, this I found this pool, here's the pool address, it's printing right now, you might want to check it out. And just everybody going back and forth in there, sharing information. There's been a bunch of people in there that have had issues with their wallet, stuff like that, been able to ask the community, hey,
that.
I'm having an issue with BFAT, or I'm having an issue with connecting my wallet to this protocol. Has anybody else had this issue? And a lot of times people get walked through troubleshooting. And you got to be careful with that. You definitely don't want to be giving people access to your wallet and stuff like that. But a lot of
Yeah.
people will just be like, hey, reboot your computer and you'll be fine. And like I said, it's really nice to have a community of people.
Yeah, yeah, that is one thing, man. The technical stuff I've found to be quite a pain in the ass, and that's why I love sharing um, or walking through all the steps in my videos on the blockchain report, because I'll find technical stuff like that where you have to disconnect your wallet, refresh the page, and do all these, like, stand on one foot like you're balancing the antenna, back in the day, analog TV. And a lot of people say that they find it helpful because they're like, oh shoot, I missed this step, but you going through it has really helped. So
Mm-hmm.
I love helping people walk through that.
Well, and you're
But
really good with the wallet issues, a lot better than I am. You've actually helped me out a couple of times.
yeah, and that's the power of the community, man. Everybody helping each other out, and
Ooh, actually, hey, let's go over this real quick. So, risk and
yeah,
monitoring. So, harnessing AI and comprehensive risk analysis, because I mean, obviously, risk is a huge part of crypto and investing in DeFi. So this says NOYA employs an all-encompassing approach to risk management and monitoring, covering various aspects of assets, protocols, and chains to maintain a secure and yield optimized platform. The key factors considered include death spiral risk. So, evaluating the likelihood of a self sustaining downward trend in an asset's value. Asset collateralization, assessing the collateral supporting the assets to ensure stability and minimize risk. Market cap, examining the asset's market capitalization and to measure its liquidity and robustness. Single points of failure, identifying and mitigating any vulnerabilities or dependencies posing considerable risks. So, it looks like it might even evaluate the protocol or the platform to, see if it's been audited and things like that. Protocol dependencies, investigating how assets rely on other protocols. So, for instance, the way that Contango uses, it loops. It's a looping protocol that leverages. We were just talking about it with PTs and YTs. Why am
Oh,
I drawing a
Pendle.
blank?
Yeah.
Pendle, thank you.
Pendle.
And then you got Mamo that actually doesn't custody any of your assets. It actually uses Moonwell in the vaults on
Mhm.
Moonwell to use your liquidity to earn. So it looks like that it investigates again how the protocols might leverage other protocols for potential risks because obviously if it's taking your assets, it's moving them, if it's bridging and doing all the things that this is saying that it's going to do, it's going to it's going to try to mitigate those risks. And then peg stability. So monitoring pool volume, liquidity, and pricing volatility. So, especially with stable coins and the potential with some stable coins, because there's a lot more stable coins out there than USDC, USDT, and large stable coins like that. Not all stable coins are created equal. So a stable coin depegging could be a massive, massive
Oh,
impact to your portfolio.
yeah.
So like what was that? Terra Luna, their stable coin, that
Oh, yep.
depegged, and
Mhm.
it was a cascade effect. And I believe wasn't that the one that led to Celsius going down and a
Yeah.
bunch of other stuff?
When USDC around that time even kind of
It
depegged down to
it
97
depegged down to
cents.
it was 80. It was like 80
Oh, 80s.
cents.
Shit.
Yeah, it actually spiked down. I was looking at it the other day. It actually spiked
Oh,
down to 80 cents.
fuck.
Immediately recovered. But if
That's
you're in
scary.
a deep, you need to understand this though. Just
Hmm.
because you're in a stable coin using DeFi, if a stable coin depegs, and it depends on the protocol, some of them have like a buffer on there so that if it spikes down, you don't get liquidated. It has to stay down there for a minute, but some protocols, if it even spikes down there, it will liquidate you. So you need to make sure, like, even if you're using stable coins in DeFi, you need to look and see, okay, over time, has it ever depegged? And if so, when it depegged, how far did it go? It will give you a better understanding of, okay, I am lending out $100,000 of USDC, but at one point it dipped down to 80 cents. So maybe I don't want to take an 80% loan to value because if it dips down, I could get liquidated. So maybe I might want to do only 60% or 70% loan to value because it's dipped down, to 80 cents before. And if it does it again and even goes a little bit, deeper, I'm not going to get liquidated. So these are all things that you need to understand before you deploy liquidity. Again, even with stable coins. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Yes. Yeah, there's risks all over, man. Yeah, I,
Yeah.
I kind of answered Jesse in the yeah, something up with YouTube because he's not the only one that's had issues with asking questions and not showing up in the chat
Yeah.
from before. So yeah, hopefully, and
So
also guys, jump in the Discord if you ever have any issues sending questions. Send them in the Discord. I got it pulled up, and we can always pull them from there too if YouTube's being shitty. So
Yeah, and sorry about that because yeah, I mean, yeah, we have run into that before. At least some of his chats are showing up. Yeah,
Yeah.
some people like they're none of their chats show up. So anyway,
Shit. And I do know that sometimes they have the top chats or live chats. That might be another thing.
hmm
It's, but yeah, no. Um, did you go into the protocols part of the risk and monitoring and the chains, or
I don't
was there anything else
believe
that you?
so.
Yeah,
Let me
code
take a look.
quality, reviewing audits, auditors' track records, team transparency, um, maturity, analyzing the protocol's total value locked ranking, governance
Well,
concentration
well,
levels.
you missed a part, and it's an important one. It said, and the number of hacks to gauge the
Oh
security
yeah.
of the underlying protocol. So it looks like it actually looks through and sees if they've been hacked before. So this is all important because this is all data points that it is going to use to help mitigate the risk because obviously it's not you don't want it using a protocol that's constantly getting hacked. It means that they're not
Mhm.
doing their due diligence and securing their network or securing their protocol. So this is all things to keep in mind. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I appreciate you giving me the little check.
No, 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 no worries, no worries.
um, yeah, analyzing and the governance stuff, design, evaluating tokenomics, systemic risks, and possible Ponzi-like mechanisms to ensure the protocol's long-term sustainability and feasibility.
I like
I
it.
mean, fuck, you're auditing yourself, man. That's that's what you want to see.
Yes. Oh, well, I mean, this is all stuff that I spend a lot of time doing manually. Um,
Yeah.
and some of it I don't even do. Some of it I don't even know how to do. It's especially not in a timely fashion. So having an AI, like I said, I'm very very excited to see where this goes.
Yeah. And their chains, purpose of native token, assessing the function and utility of the chain's native token to determine its value proposition and potential risks. Total value invested, estimating the amount of capital invested in the chain to gauge its overall strength and stability. Because like chains like Chroma that shut down a few months ago,
hmm
some of these layer twos aren't gonna be around. It's just part of the game, or they're gonna fade away and have very little activity. So you don't want to incorporate a chain that's a dead chain. Why? Um, Level of decentralization, assessing the distribution and control or distribution of control and decision making power within the chain to ensure a secure and equitable ecosystem. Number of nodes, evaluating the node participating in the network to ascertain its resilience and resistance to attacks. And concentration of staking, analyzing the distribution of staking power among participants to identify potential centralization risks and maintain the integrity of the chain. So this is fucking powerful. If every project had stuff like this, it would make people feel a lot better, and you'd have a lot better success with your project growth long term. Because like you said, if you have attacks on your chain or network or assets, people aren't going to want to use it. They're going to go somewhere else.
So the only, and I won't even say negative thing, but the only thing that kind of would lead
What
me
you
to
got? What you
not
got?
use this right now is, and I think a lot of it is because it's using Aave. And these are actually really good APYs for Aave. But like 6.5% APY, I know places that I can earn a pretty steady 15% APY on my stables. I have a whole list of
That's
places
true.
between 10 and 20%. So it's all about how much you want to manage. If you're just
NPL?
looking to fire and forget, you want to deposit your liquidity and just know that it's, at least mitigating or, hopefully outpacing inflation, this, is going to be a great tool for you. If you want to, have a little, micromanage your liquidity a little bit more, you can definitely earn more than what I'm seeing here. But it's still very early, and the only thing I'm seeing on here right now is Aave and Morpho.
Hmm.
Same thing on stables, on ETH, Aave and Morpho, Bitcoin coming
Yeah.
soon, and others coming soon. So again, still very early. I do like that they are going with the larger platforms. Aave and Morpho are two
Yeah.
of the biggest as far as TVL and as far as being reputable. So Aave is of course the 800-pound gorilla, and Morpho is catching up. So it looks like they're focusing on quality over quantity and quality over just high APYs. So I'll give it that. So that's my 2 cents.
No, yeah. And I know the TVL we like to see a lot higher, but I mean, the Morpho USD one has almost 100K. And like I said, it just launched in June and it's fairly new. So you are going to start seeing more and more flood in. And yeah, Jesse, jump in the Discord and we'll get your chat going or questions answered.
Absolutely.
Yeah, YouTube, man, YouTube's just funky. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, all right, brother. That's
Well,
that.
he's typing away right now in
All
the
right.
Discord. I'm looking.
All right. Well, we'll answer his question, and then we'll cut it off.
Yeah, get in here and if you don't want to connect your socials and stuff, you don't have to. Well, I think you actually do in order to get the points. But if you just want to have exposure to these Omni vaults, and just use it as a DeFi aggregator, you can just do that. And not even, if you don't even care about the airdrop or getting the points and stuff. But I do remember you have to connect your X and Discord to start getting the points. So other than that, um, so he said, I guess it's an odd question. You're talking about having a node. Would it be the same as a node when mining? No, I think the nodes on here is the nodes on the network themselves.
So my understanding from my reading on this is that it's I don't know if it's a DAG, but it is that architecture, and also it is modular. So it's I think that that's becoming a very popular build for a lot of these projects because of the flexibility, the upgradability, the security.
Mm.
There's a lot of advantages to going with that architecture. But yeah, I mean, sorry, you were about to tell them about the nodes.
No, no, that's helpful because I don't think it's individuals running the nodes, right? It's the network itself. I mean, it might. I mean, there's nodes that you are technically mining, but as far as the DAG architecture goes, I think that's the safest way of running a network, at least right now, or a safer
Mm.
way. But as far as participating in that, I don't know. I think you have to have there's certain requirements that you have to meet to run a node on a network or certain networks. So that I would have to look more into as far as this goes. And you could be rewarded for it, but I'm not exactly sure with NOYA. But I think it's talking about the nodes on each network and not so much this project itself. But I could be wrong. So we'll do a little more digging and get you some better information. So no, thanks. That's a great question. But that's
Awesome.
all I got, man. And yeah, deployed on 10 chains, 40 protocols, 500 plus pools that they are building out. So they got a lot more coming. And yeah.
Awesome. Well, all right, brother. Thanks everyone out there. We got Eric Wallen, Jesse in the chat. We have who else we got? We got the Deadwood. Yeah, we got a bunch of people in here.
Devin,
But
Ray,
yeah.
Ricky, Romero,
So anyone
Boogaloo,
watching
Bum.
anyone watching on X, you're always welcome to come over to YouTube and jump in the chat. Again, we love answering questions. And if you're so inclined, like and follow us and join the Discord because
Mm-hmm.
again, we do the moderators in there do a really good job of weeding out the scammers and stuff like that. We don't have it to where bots and stuff that that automate the process of people joining. If anybody comes in there and starts doing anything scammy, they're out. So thank you to all the moderators that help us out with that. So anyway,
Yeah.
till next time, Veteran Crypto out.
Peace.